All right, man. Another one. I'm back.
Yeah.
Feels
We got DJ back again in the building.
Feels good.
Let's go ahead and let's roll the intro. That way we get this early on and we don't forget.
Right.
We them broke boys from the hood. We on them missions, understood. Won't catch us lacking, we that good. We always winning like we should. We flying high, we butterfly up to the sky. No way you catching us, goodbye. Pray to God we make it out alive. I'll never leave my dogs behind. We stick together like we signed. We shooting stars, one of a kind. We undefeated, just resign. Money more.
All right, we are back with another episode of the Broke Boys. I'm here joined with my boy DJ again, and we are gonna do another open mic session. I loved it. I loved the last session that we did, and it was so smooth, and everything went out perfect. All in one take.
Yeah, no stopping. I mean, we really handled that last one. But like I said, that's what happens when you get a certified yapper on here.
Yeah, for sure. I've been thinking about different art for the Broke Boys.
Okay.
For the Broke Boys logo.
All right.
So the original one was Broke Boys from Fresno, Broken Heart, microphone.
Right.
I sat down with one of the collaborators that I have, and we came up with this concept art. The only reason why we haven't done anything is just because I'm a little picky with certain stuff.
Right.
So the artwork that we were going with is it was going to be like the Fresno skyline with Broke Boys, clouds, a little bit more of like a scenery look to it.
Right.
The colors that I wanted to keep, obviously purple and the baby blue.
Right.
Those are the colors that I still want to keep.
Right.
I know I switched into the white background. So it really just depends on like how everything comes out. Now I know that there's nothing set in stone because, again, I'm still switching everything around. I still want it to be perfectly executed because that new look is also going to be the new look for the upcoming Broke Boy shirts.
Right.
So I know I have another collaboration, and I'm still waiting on those pending details. And I don't know, man. The more I think about it, the more I'm just like, I want to get like, I just want to throw out a number. I'm going to throw out a number, like 50 shirts.
Okay.
And just go around Fresno and just handing them out or doing some content, just giving out to random people, to random strangers, and just, throwing it out there.
That's not a bad idea. And not a lot of people have the balls to do that. And when I say that, I mean, a lot of people are so focused on income and profit margins and stuff like that. That's a huge one. Mm-hmm. People are going to remember that gift, whether they're less fortunate or whether they're just like, oh, shit, like, who is this guy? What's Broke Boys? You know what I'm saying? Just putting that impression on them. They might not even know you, or they do know you.
Yeah.
And they get to rep the merch now. They get to talk good about you, to their family and their friends. It does something that sales just can't do. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, if you really like Broke Boys that much, you'll buy the merchandise off their website. You'll be helping Martin out with what he does, but it's like doing that alone, that idea, I feel like that's just so wholesome. Mm-hmm. It's its own thing on its own.
Yeah.
And
my whole goal is just to throw the word out there.
Yeah.
I had just, recognize little by little more recognition in the local area. And just, that's my whole goal. And I know like, hey, not everyone can afford a shirt.
Right.
But if there's any way that I can go around and be like, hey, here's this shirt. I would love just for you to rock it, take a picture of it, tag me in it, whatever it is.
Right.
Show some sort of support and love to the community,
Right.
So that's just one idea that I got with that shirt. We had the idea with the first launch, with the first official launch. Mm-hmm. The only thing that happened was the other guy did not follow through. Mm-hmm. The original idea is to give it to friends and family, the Broke Boy shirt, and it was going to be an exclusive. And at first, we had, all right, we got the shirts, we're going to record us giving the shirts to people and all this other stuff, right?
Right.
Then there was this weird transition of him, I think he got broken up with or he got dumped at the time. Mm-hmm. So that whole process was awkward as it is. So it just, it didn't make it any easier. And I wish things were different. I wish things that wouldn't have happened, like, gone that way.
Yeah.
Because it ruined everything that we had built up for it.
Right.
Because, again, we dropped a lot of money for the shirts.
Yeah.
To give them out to people. Again, these shirts weren't cheap. It was a lot of money to drop.
Right.
And again, like, it was just one of those things, like, come on, bro, like, this is to benefit us. It's to benefit content.
Right.
I ended up scrapping the whole fucking idea because of how inconsistent and how can I say it? Like, the inconsistency and the lack of
balance, almost
not balance, but a lack of effort and emotion to it.
Right.
Like, it was just so plain, so serious. And I get it. You know, hey, you got broken up with.
Yeah.
You know, but hey, fake it till you make it, motherfucker. Like,
Yeah.
this is for us that we got to push forward.
Right.
But it just wasn't. It didn't go through. It didn't go well.
And to think about it, I think that was his first relationship.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's kind of hard for him. I get it, but at the same time, when you have something that's you have something that's worth losing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? This is a lifetime opportunity. Not too many people can come up with the idea, the drive, or even the time to do something like this. And you guys both had that.
Yeah.
And even when you didn't have time, you made time.
Yeah.
And to just crash out over a relationship and to let that completely, like, crumble what you had or what you were creating, it's like, it's a double L. It's a double loss. Because now you done lost the relationship, but everything you were working so hard for, whether it was a career base or something that you really dreamed of, that's gone too, and you let it slip. You can't blame nobody else but yourself.
Yeah.
You can let shit make or break you, and if you let it break you, bro, I'm sorry, buddy, but it just wasn't meant for you then.
Yeah. That's the hardest things too, is like there was just so much lack of creativity, and you could tell. And everyone told me about it.
Yeah.
Everyone says, like, dude, you carry the conversation, or I mean, you can notice the difference, the shift, and like, what's he really bringing to the table?
Right.
And the only thing is just that he was just my co-host.
Right.
And I kept defending him. I kept like, no.
And that's the cold part. Like, have you heard what's going on with Yachty and Caribou?
No.
Oh man,
What's going on with that?
I don't even want to. You gotta look into it. It's pretty deep, but just to put it into perspective, it's literally Caribou basically met up with a fan. The fan said, "Oh, I spoke with her for hella long," and she said basically they were bullying me.
Yeah.
And I left the group, yada yada yada. And then Yachty gets on live, and he's just like, "Oh, you're smearing my name. Like, you're over here trying to say that, like I funded you. Like, I wrote your music, and you're gonna try and talk smack about me and what I did, like that I wasn't a good friend and that we bullying you, this and the third." He's like, "Bro, I put watches on your wrist." You know what I'm saying? And it just goes to show that sometimes the people that are like co-hosting or the people that are in the main foundational group, there's a lot that you can't see behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And it can be one of the main people, and you're like, "Oh no, they would never fall out like that." I couldn't imagine it being that bad.
Exactly.
And then the news comes out and it's that bad, you know. And Caribou and Yachty's situation is just in that same situation.
Same situation.
I may have paraphrased a lot of that stuff. Please do not go on the internet talking about, "Oh, DJ said this." Look it up for yourself, because there's a lot of stuff that, like I said, I paraphrased. So
Yeah. No, and I think the hardest thing after the fact is that I regret myself for letting it slide.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
I regret myself for letting it slide and letting it just be and playing it out.
Right.
But again, like, I chose to stick with my own peace and my own mindset, right? And the reason why I'm saying it is just because if
you would have fed into it, you know, it would have been no good. If you would have fed into, you know, him smearing your name or him trying to play victim or any of that other situation, like, it just would not have allowed you to pursue what you were doing authentically. You know what I'm saying?
And I don't think he ever realized how hard it was for me to bounce back.
Yeah.
And I don't think no one really realized that. And I don't think I've ever talked about it. And if I do talk about it, again, like, this is just from my experience. So if whatever, for you guys, like, just listen just from my experience.
Right.
He didn't realize how hard the bounce back was for me.
Right.
Because he didn't have to deal with everything else in the background.
Right.
He didn't have to deal with the negativity of like, hey, but why didn't you do this? Or hey, this is what they're saying about you.
Right.
This is what they're saying about Broke Boyz.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't see the hardship of how am I supposed to do it?
Yeah.
How can I come back from this?
Right.
And it just tarnished our Broke Boy name. It tarnished everything. It it discredited everything we stood for.
Right.
And
absolutely, yeah.
And it's just like, okay, what can I do? How can I bounce back from this?
Right.
Now it's just me by myself. Now it's just he didn't understand the difficulties that I had to go through, the loss of time, the loss of money, the loss of everything that I invested in. And even this song said it best by Polo G is they don't understand how hard it was for you to detach from them, and they still went and tossed dirt on your name to talk shit about you.
Fact,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
and it's just like, bro, like I bit my tongue so much.
Yeah,
I lied
I
so
know
much.
you did. I know.
So it's just like, okay, like when is it gonna be my turn to switch?
Right.
And I just kept taking L's back to back. You witnessed it.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
fuck, I'm not doing anything, and my numbers weren't good, and I was just like, I felt like my numbers weren't good.
Right.
But when I logged into it, you guys saw that everything was just like, no, everything's fine.
Yeah.
Everything's still the same.
Yeah.
But the lack of creativity on my end, the lack of finding things to bounce back from,
Right.
all the hard parts, and like I had to take a lot of breaks and trying to figure out how I can make content. It took me a while for me to actually fucking figure it out.
Right.
And it's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing that everything played out the way it did, and I think it played out the necessary route that it had to.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
It's a curse just because of you have them, and you talk so highly of them,
Right.
just for them just to fucking backhand you.
Right. Well, some people I feel like don't appreciate the opportunity that they're given. It's not just a playing field. This isn't just a day to go to the park and then that's that. The next day you're going back to whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
This is a true dedication. This is something that like you have to sit down and be like, okay, is this something I truly want to do? Like this is going to take a lot of commitment, a lot of time. That's the reason why I felt like I haven't started the YouTube channel like I was talking about. I know it's a lot of commitment. I've been out there where I've tried to make things work and I just had to drop it and let it go because I'm like, it's not working.
Yeah.
And then having to deal with that embarrassment after the fact of being like, bro, these people see me try and
Yeah.
it didn't work out. And I got people asking me, hey, whatever happened?
Yeah, and that's the embarrassing part.
Yeah.
Like and it was hard for me to deal with.
Yeah.
And it's hard because I lied. I kept lying about it.
Yeah.
Because again, like and I've said it before, I cared so much about this motherfucker's image.
Yeah.
And I didn't care about my own.
Exactly.
And it was just so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
How much I had to fucking get set back from, and then to bounce back and figure it out on my own.
Right.
And then now you figure it out on your own. Now you're successful. Now you're doing, and all of a sudden, no. You're talking shit about me.
Yeah.
And you're saying X, Y, and Z. And I'm hearing it through all these other people that are telling me.
It's, you know what I think it is, though? It's almost like the game of karma, right?
Yeah.
So somebody does you dirty. Let's say somebody steals your wheels in your car.
Mm-hmm.
You've been working your ass off. You've been doing this. You've been building your car. Somebody steals the fucking wheels in your car. And you're like, why is this happening to me, bro? Like, I've been doing everything I'm supposed to be. I've been working my ass off. I've been doing this. And somebody just hating.
Fuck your wheels.
somebody like, oh, I like those. Let me go ahead and take this.
Yeah.
Fuck how you feel.
Yeah.
Fuck how hard you worked for it. You know deep down inside that person has something bad coming to him.
Yeah.
So it's up to you to be mad at him, try and track him down. Oh, let's look at the ring camera. Let's see who did it. Let's try and see where they stay at. Who this person is.
Yeah.
Or you can be like, you know what? It is what it is. I got to move smarter next time. Maybe I got to upgrade my security a little bit more.
Yeah.
Whatever the case may be. Get my wheels back on. And deep down inside, even though it hurts you, you have to remember that there's always going to be the bad karma on their end. Even though they may have done you dirty at that moment in time, later on down the road, they're going they're
Yeah.
gonna get theirs tenfold.
Oh, absolutely.
And
they
that's
will.
all you have to remember. It's not easy, obviously. I'm not saying that this whole situation is easy to forgive because, I mean, I remember what you were doing with. I remember the phone calls, sitting
Yeah.
on the phone for an hour long talking about, bro, what do I do from this point on? Like,
Yeah.
should I hop on this podcast and, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
or do I just be calm and cordial about it? And we, you know, me and you both.
Yeah.
Me and you both. I think it was the episode, not even a month after the situation happened, and we're holding tongue, trying to make sure we don't.
It was hard because we were like, fuck. We sat out outside for almost an hour.
Yeah.
Just letting loose.
Yeah.
Just talking our shit.
Yeah.
Just so that way we could get on and be like, nah, we're not gonna do that. We're not
Yeah.
gonna feed into that.
Right.
And you know what? I'm so grateful that we never fed into it.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful. Again, everything plays out for a reason.
Exactly.
And again, it's just like, fuck, no one ever realizes from anybody, no one realized how hard I had to deal with it and how hard I had to bounce back from it.
Right.
And how difficult it was. But now to where I'm at now,
Right.
I'm satisfied. I'm happy. I'm finally living with the way I wanted to live.
Yeah.
One thing that I do regret is starting it with somebody who didn't have the same vision. And that's the sad thing.
Yeah.
Because reality, DJ is the reality is I honestly don't think that he had the same ambition or dream that we had thought.
Right.
That's what we stood for.
That's what it seems like.
And it just seemed like he was only doing it just because he saw that I was doing it and not like following me like a trend, but following it because he was like, well, if you find it cool, I guess I'll find it cool as well.
But you know, he's always kind of been like that.
Yeah.
And then if you notice it, and I'm the kind of person, like, I'll take a step back. If I'm in a group of people, I'll take a step back and, like, I really analyze. I am, and I hate to even admit that, I overanalyze a lot of things, but I've always noticed that there's certain people in your groups. There's the followers and then there's the leaders. There's the innovative ones and then there's the ones that just go with it. And, again, I'm not trying to talk bad about nobody. I'm not up here trying to talk about, oh, you're a fault. Like, no.
Yeah.
This is just what the reality of it is. I've seen situations where homeboy will just strictly agree with everything you may say.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, bro, form your own opinion. Like, speak on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if it's in a podcast episode, don't just let Martin carry the whole thing. Speak on it. Say something that you feel like is adding on to the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Don't just completely agree with what this man is saying. Like, form your own opinion. Not to say to argue with them, but you know what I'm saying? Just say your own piece.
Like say it with your chest with no fear.
And
even how all the other guys said the same thing.
Yeah.
Because all the other guys saw it too. And again, I don't know. I don't know why I kept defending it or why I kept believing, like, you know. And maybe it was just because that instinct that I had of all my friends,
right?
Even you, like, if for somebody, you know, to try to say something about your car page or anything like that,
Right.
I'll defend your car page.
Right.
You know, that's just who I am.
Right.
But again, like, I don't know. Like, I noticed the signs, but I didn't pay attention to them.
Right.
And I should have known. I should have known from the moment that I told him, take care of the YouTube. You're in charge of this. You're in charge of this. From the moment that I tried to leave him in charge of certain things and nothing was getting done.
Right.
I should have saw it.
Yeah.
But I was just so blinded and just, I don't know. To this day, I really don't know. Other than the fact is that I gave him so many opportunities and I was always rooting for his side. And the moment that it didn't go his way or the moment that he, whatever it was,
Yeah.
it just blew up on my face.
Right.
How was it going to blow up on my?
Damn. I mean, honestly, bro, I try and I think positive about the situation, but there's just no way for me to really think about it.
I think the only positive way that I see it is that, this is a lesson for everybody, is that
You have to choose your business partners very, very selectively.
Not only that, but you have to know that if there's people that are really rooting for you, really going to be there for you, you're going to notice it right off the bat.
You'll feel it, yeah.
Don't ignore the signs. Don't allow that fuck, like, don't allow that.
Don't
disrespect.
give that benefit of the doubt. Don't give any of that. Don't allow any of that energy in. I can't say the whole word. Why am I stuttering? Don't allow that energy in. Anything that's not 100% energy when you're trying to start something new and you've got that one person, oh, that's pretty cool, bro. I think that's good for you. And it just seems like it's just a little off on energy. Don't, you know what I mean? Just take it as a grain of salt.
Yep.
Because that's all it's ever going to be. You can't just allow somebody else's, 40% to try and help you out on your 100%, because at the end of the day, you're just going to keep dragging them along, and they're not going to be able to help support you whenever you need it the most. And I've dealt with that a lot with even when I do with my social media pages and stuff like that. Like, I've had people tell me, oh, bro, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this. And I'm like, okay, but like, what do you do as your content?
Exactly.
Bro only put out 2 reels in this entire year, and he's not even like fully content in what he does. I'm not going to take what you have to say into consideration that much. Like, I'll consider whatever anybody has to hear. Yeah, I take constructive criticism all the time.
I had that issue too, and it wasn't with the same person. It was someone else.
Yeah,
and again, like, it was just like, okay, like, I appreciate the information you're giving me. I appreciate the feedback that you're giving me,
right? And
the criticism, because he was heavily criticizing,
right?
But what are your numbers?
Mm-hmm.
What are you showing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you, like, nowhere near the same way. And it's just like, I'm not trying to speak like I know everything,
right?
But what makes you qualified to tell me if you're not, you can't preach about the same thing?
Exactly.
If your numbers ain't showing, if you're not at that level, why should I listen to you?
Exactly.
And again, it's not saying that I'm top dog or I know everything at all, but but again, like, I'll take your feedback, I'll take the criticism. Hey, thank you for the feedback, thank you for all that. I'm gonna go back to the drawing boards and figure it out. Yeah, but don't be preaching on something that you don't know.
And not only that, but you're not gonna find inspiration by somebody who's, again, not trying to speak like people are under us, but
some people are gonna come after our necks, bro.
Yeah, I know, bro. I know. It's hard to work this. It's like, you're not gonna find inspiration from people who aren't outworking you. Yeah. That's what I meant to say. Mm-hmm. It's hard because, like, let's put it for instance, my biggest inspiration when it comes to card content was always Eliminate. Mm-hmm. When I was in high school, I was watching these dudes. Back when it was just Randy and the other homie, and it was 2 of them in an apartment complex with a Honda S2000. Okay. And they were pushing clothing brand content. They were starting up their YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I mean, it wasn't as big as it is now. They used to film them hanging out with their homies, film the process of what it's like. I wouldn't say drop shipping, but pretty much running the merch, dropping it off, doing what they got to do. He was starting off as a small fry, bro. And now look at Eliminate. Yeah. Eliminate is one of the most known California car groups out there. I mean, I really don't know anybody else who's doing it like them out here in California. Yeah. Based out of San Jose. I mean, bro popped out with a Nissan Skyline on some Tokyo Drift shit. Had everybody like, no way, he really did that. They had what they called an Eliminate house where all the homies stayed with them. They made content on the daily. Yep. And it's something that me and, like I said, Julian, we were looking at, like, what if we just had like a content house? Yeah. You see, AMP does it, right? Yeah. People want
FaZe Clan did it too.
FaZe Clan, yep. It's definitely a dream of ours to do something like that.
I think even during COVID, the TikTokers, all the TikTokers had it.
Absolutely.
And that idea has never been like new. Right. It's always been the same.
But you're not gonna look at somebody who's starting below you for that inspiration. You're aiming for a top dog.
Exactly.
So I'm not gonna if Randy was to hit me up and be like, bro, not gonna lie, like, I see what you're doing, and I just wouldn't do it. Mm-hmm. If he told me that, I'd be like, damn, I must be doing something wrong, bro. Like, this must not be it. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to let it discourage me completely because he might not always be right either. Mm-hmm. But I'd rather take his advice over somebody who's like...
Yeah, I'll take this as an example. And again, I'm not bashing nobody. Please do not take this as I'm talking shit. But there was an idea that that had showed them on TikTok. Yeah. And it was the group. Right. And I said, look at this idea. And the idea was for comedy. It was a comedy sketch. Uh-huh. So it was like when the group doesn't match the song. Oh, and it's like them being gangster and it's the song. It's like a Katy Perry song, right. Yeah. Something funny. Yeah. And again, like it was just to make it funny. Right. And the dude's response was like, I'm not like that. My page is mysterious. My page is dark. I don't do nothing funny.
Ego was too big.
And I was like, okay, like, my bad, bro. I won't pitch that idea again. Yeah. But I was just like throwing different things just because I was like, seeing how musicians or seeing how different artists come out with different ideas, like just throwing random ones to grasp some new attention to people.
And you know what? I will say that's also the blessing in it all too, is the fact that was like a foreshadowing of it all, right? You want your page to be mysterious and nonchalant or whatever the case may be, bro. You got to drop the ego. At the end of the day, your ego will be your biggest enemy in any kind of content creation. I've had so many people that I've known that get so big-headed over their image.
Oh, I know.
That right.
I know.
Right.
Homeboy also had a big head.
Yeah. And you know, they start making content. And they haven't even made it. I mean, they barely dipped their pinky toe in the water. They ain't even felt the temperature yet.
And don't get me wrong, I understand that mindset of like, yeah, I am top. Number one. I get that mindset. Yeah. That's confidence.
Right.
But when it's your ego, your ego is going to kill you.
You can ride with confidence and still kill your ego. Like, I've experienced ego death with previous experiences of what I used to do. But I don't walk around here thinking like, oh, I'm him. Oh, I got this, I got that, I'm him. Bro, I've been humbled so many times, I can't even act like that no more. I would have to force myself, and even then I still feel disgusted. But I think that's really what it is the fact that people aren't as humble as they should be, or who am I to judge? But I just believe if you want to be successful in anything, you have to be humble. Yeah. You have to remember to be level-headed. You have to remember, don't be so full of yourself. Unless you're Mr. Beast and you really got it like that,
then something else.
Yeah, exactly.
And no, I was like that. I think I had that conversation with him, and I told him, I was like, I get it, bro. Like, you know, some people come up to us and they say, because at the time people were coming up to us,
right? And
people were like, hey, you're Broke Boyz. I was like, yeah. I was like, nice to meet you, man. But like, oh, I like your podcast. I listen to your shit. I've seen your. It's just like, okay, cool. Like, I like that. I like when people I kept it the same. Like, I'm still the same. I ain't switch up.
Ain't no difference. Yeah.
And he just got airhead instantly.
Yeah.
Because then at the time, I mean, and you remember too, because we were, I'm not going to lie, we were also pumping the air in his head. Yeah. Because we were like, damn, dude, like these girls hitting you up too.
Yeah, yep.
And it's just like.
He changed his swag up. Hey, bro had it on though.
Yeah.
He had that shit on though.
I'll give it to him.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
But again, like, it's just that the airhead just kind of fucked it up.
When you haven't had something like that before, bro, you just don't know how to appreciate it that much more.
Yeah.
That's really just what it is. But, I mean, hey, to each its own. Again, we are no one to talk shit. We are literally just talking about our own personal experience that we've dealt with people in the past and the people who have, let us down. I mean, it didn't have to go the way it needed to, but unfortunately, this is the circumstance, and we bounce right back every single time.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't think that they ever realized, like, how hard it was for either one of us. Yeah. Like, even with...
Oh,
like,
man.
Don't even get me started with him, but even with him, like, I wish it wouldn't, it didn't end up that way, bro. Because he was so, when I look back at it, bro, and I even look back at the memories that we all had as a group, it was just fun times that we all had with one another. And that's another thing, too, that ego killed him.
And he was... Dude, I don't even want to get into this. I'm going to get emotional over this because it's so irritating because people don't have to move the way that they do.
Yeah.
Like, I remember sitting on the couch in the living room trying to help him fight with his, I won't say addiction, but...
His problems.
His problems, you know what I'm saying? Like, real friends will be there for you when you're in your deepest, darkest moments and they can see right through you. Yeah. And we were trying to not tell him up front, like, hey, bro, you need to cut this out. Like, we're not those type of people.
And we weren't trying to preach it either. We were
bringing the topic up and a foreshadowing moment, I guess you could say. Like, we were hinting at it, but only to the point where he would pick up on it and notice it without saying it like out loud.
Yeah.
And we knew he connected on it. We felt it, but unfortunately, it was just like, people's egos get too big and they just make themselves the enemy. You know, you can't progress if you have a big ego. You cannot move forward and have a good, healthy friend group that's going to help you progress in life if you have an ego that's so destructive and so full of yourself. It won't work.
And the other thing is that for either one of them, was the simple fact is that from what I saw is that you can talk about the grind, but the grind is going to be different.
Yeah.
Like they would talk about, and I'm going to use my situation.
Right.
And similar to theirs.
Right.
I would get desperate because I need to figure out something for my mom. I need to figure out something for my family and get them out of the situation that they're in.
Right.
And I'm desperate in that aspect.
Right.
And I've always used that as fuel.
Right.
Like, hey, I'm going to wake up in the morning and I'm going to fucking execute. I'm going to fucking figure it out.
Right.
Because I need to get my mom out. I need to get my mom a house.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, Kat's always been my priority.
Right.
She's always going to be my priority.
Right.
But my family comes first.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to do everything I can for them because, again, they don't have the opportunities that other fortunate families have.
Right.
So that falls down into me because my siblings aren't going to step up to the plate.
Right.
I got to do that. And when they saw that, they would say the same thing.
But it never showed.
And I think it was to a point where I told both of them at one point. I told that I was just like, what's your goal at all? Goal at this chain?
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you going to move up? Are you going to stay there? Like, you should really figure out a way to incorporate your family into a better system.
Right.
If that's what you want.
Right.
Morals and mentalities just weren't aligned. And I think that our level of maturity, our level of mindset just didn't align anymore.
Right.
And everything, and don't get me wrong, I always like to have fun. I always like to go and enjoy my time.
Right.
But not all the time.
Yeah,
like,
there's a certain limit to
yeah, and like if I could work a Saturday or a Sunday, I best believe I'm gonna do that for money. I'm always gonna chase my bag.
Right, exactly.
And for them it was something different. It was always like, no, let's party, let's drink, let's smoke, let's get
every single
fucked
weekend,
up. Yeah. And it's cool. I'll be your guys' DD because I was never gonna risk anything like that.
Right.
But again, like it got just so tiring to the point where you don't mix well with that no more. Like, hey, bro, at what point are you gonna get tired of it?
Right.
And
then,
if
you really had that dream that you said you wanted, you wouldn't be doing that shit.
Yeah.
That's very real. You know, I remember those days, and I think you straight up asked one of them. You were like, okay, is that really your goal, though? Like, is that your real dream? Or, And it's hinting like, bro, we can see the front right through you. We know that's not what your goal is. You're just saying it because you think what I said sounds good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's when I noticed the genuine part of them, the authenticity in them just wasn't there.
Yeah.
And it's sad enough to say, but that's just how it is. When you can read it right through them and you start picking up on the signs like, okay, maybe everything this man says isn't what we deem it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe he's not as authentic as we thought he would be.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I get even with the other guy, he said it at Disneyland that he was so desperate that he said this whole speech.
Right.
Felt for him. Hey, man, get your shit together.
Right.
If you really want to help out your family, get your fucking shit together.
Right.
It's cool, don't get me wrong, to do shit on the side, to do this on this side.
Right.
But what's your goal?
Right.
What purpose? What are you doing? What are you actively doing right now?
Right.
That's going to set them up.
Exactly. What can you do right now that's going to help that situation?
Yeah.
And some people just don't sit down with themselves enough to actually talk it out or to actually make those steps.
Right. Some people just lie to themselves like, yeah, I have done it. Or yeah, I had that conversation with myself. And it's just like, but if you really did, you would be operating in a whole different environment.
Dreams don't work unless you do.
Yeah.
I you know what's really crazy is I've been guilty of that too. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to tell somebody like, oh, like I accomplished all the goals that I have. Sorry for the stuttering. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, bro. It happens to me all the time, bro. You're good.
R.I.P. to the audience's ears. You know, I'll be the first person to admit, like, I know I've set myself up for goals and was like, damn, I really got to do this. Like, you know, we've all been there, that 2 a.m. thought, like, I got to get myself together. You start hitting some fucking push-ups and shit, like, oh, I'm going to change.
Yes. And
then, you know, it falls off at the end of the day because you weren't committed enough, because that goal wasn't feasible enough for you, or you didn't take the appropriate steps to do it. And I'll admit that I've had that. You know, that's just how life is. Nobody's perfect, and you're not going to get the goal down packed every single time.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. You're going to lose sometimes. But you cannot sit down with yourself and tell the lies to the people that are closest to you, that care for you, and tell them, yeah, I want to do this because I got to do this for my family, yada, 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 because we're in your corner rooting for you. And the more you keep telling us false promises that you want for yourself, for your family, and you're not applying yourself, it's just going to either make us uncomfortable and stop believing what you're saying is true, or we're just going to keep applying that pressure until you want to give up.
Yeah.
Until you say, you know what, guys, like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, easy, they wheeze them their way out of their group. You know what I'm saying?
And you can want what's best for them.
Yeah.
But
you can't make them get it.
You can't make them. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because that's the hardest thing. And don't get me wrong, like, I'm not perfect. I'm far from it.
Yeah.
But I learned from my fucking mistakes and I've figured it out. I've took so many L's, and you're still gonna take the L's.
Yeah.
Life is gonna fucking give you L's back to back. Tomorrow ain't promised for anybody, bro. Tomorrow I can suffer, and I get it. This is getting a little dark and this is getting a little deep.
I think about it all the time too. I know.
But tomorrow I can lose my loved one.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Yeah.
I can lose them.
Yeah.
And then what did I accomplish?
Right.
All the stuff that I wanted to do, all the stuff that I wanted to accomplish for them.
Right.
And they're not here no more.
Right.
I failed.
And living that life of regret, bro, regret will stick with you for life,
Exactly.
bro. I'm telling you right now, because I already know the feeling. It's not, man. Regret is one feeling that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. Okay, maybe I would, but but like, it's just something that you don't want to deal with. If you can avoid it, by all means, make that change today. Like, if you can really do something that like maybe I should get up and do something to pay my parents back for what they did for me. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that ex deserves like closure. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the way I did them was a little foul. Yeah. Maybe the person that I went off on yesterday because I was in a bad mood, maybe I should apologize to them.
Yeah.
Do it, because, bro, next thing you know, you look on ABC 30 Action News, or you just hear it through the grapevine, bro, did you hear so-and-so passed away? And you're like, no, you're lying, bro. I was just talking to him the other day.
Yeah.
And in the back of your head, you knew how you did them that day. You knew, you know what I'm saying? You could have did something to make that change. And as corny as it sounds, I know y'all probably done heard this 100,000 times. If you can change something today, please do it. Because living a lifelong life of regret is one of the hardest things to do, bro.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, I live it right now, so that's the only reason why I'm saying it, bro. It's tough, bro.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It is. It's hard. It's hard to deal with, and I don't wish that on anybody. And again, like, not everybody has to have the same mindset as I do. Like, that's for sure. Everybody has their own different motives, their own different goals and ambitions. Mine is just stronger than others, and I'm always gonna be pushing forward no matter what. Even when I talked about this setback, like, I didn't know what I was gonna do. Like, I didn't know what I was gonna do with the platform. Let's be honest.
Right.
I was so confused. I was so hurt. It took me out. Right. I had to take a whole week break to figure something out.
Right.
And even then, like, all right, what can I do? How can I be better? How can I do this?
Right.
And you spiral into that moment of, like,
feeling lost.
Right. And it's just like, okay, why am I not doing good? Why am I not? But then you think about it and you're just like, hold on. You check and you look and everything is fine. But you in your head, it's not.
Right.
So you just got to remember to yourself to not be so harsh on yourself, and to love yourself, most importantly.
Right.
And everybody else who's either done you wrong, who's fucked you over, whatever it may be, just know that, hey, one day either karma's going to get it, or you're just going to have to learn to move past it and find your own peace.
You know, onto that topic, I kind of wanted to stand on that too, because I was on TikTok and I was watching this TikTok. This lady was talking about pretty much accept or waiting for closure.
Yeah.
And she said closure doesn't exist. When she said that, I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Does it not exist because you didn't accept the apology the person was giving you?
Yeah.
Like, she went into this entire rant and she's just like, if you're waiting for your ex or that one person to come back into your life and be like, you know what, I was wrong, I'm sorry. Or to come back and be like, oh, I did you dirty, I shouldn't have done that, like, you're worth more than that. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And when she said that, I was like, Well, when you come at it like that, you're never going to reach closure.
Yeah.
Because closure is two things, right? Closure is the person who did you wrong or you who did somebody wrong. Going back to that person and accepting, you know what, I fucked up. I could have gone a different way about certain things and apologizing. The second side of closure is the person who was the victim in the situation being open enough to be able to at least accept the apology. Or you don't even have to accept it. You can be like, you know what? I understand you're being genuine about it. I don't agree with it. I don't accept the apology, but I appreciate you even like coming back and even being real to even do that. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to accept what they did. You don't have to forgive them.
Yeah.
But understand that closure is real. You know what I'm saying? If there's somebody that like you feel like deserves closure, but give it to them.
Yeah.
It's gonna make you feel that much better. Like I promise you, I've sat down with myself so many times and just wish somebody would have been like, you know what, bro, I did this, man, so dirty. Like I should have just, maybe I should just apologize to him. And I'm not gonna sit here and wait for somebody's apology.
Yeah,
that's just the
same
kind
here.
of person that I am. But if you're waiting for one,
You're not gonna get one.
if you're waiting for one, I would just say accept it in open arms if it does come to you. Because if you decide to decline it, then you'll never believe that closure is a real thing. Because that's on you. It's a two-way road. You got to accept the apology, and they've got to come to you with it.
Yeah.
So that's just me.
No, and I get you. And for me is you have to be your own closure.
Yeah, that too.
That's-
that too. Yeah.
That's how I see it. Just because with everybody, not even just this one person, but with everybody who's done me wrong,
Right.
I've sat here and I've analyzed every single one, and I've gone through the process before.
Right.
Before I used to deal with it with anger, and I used to deal with it with ruthless aggression.
Right.
You know, and instead I just started telling myself, like, what's the point?
Right.
Why am I getting angry? Why am I getting upset? There's no point in that.
Yeah.
Like at that point, at the end of the day, they fucked me over. It is what it is.
Right.
I close that chapter and I move on with my life, because you got to go on to the next.
Yeah, like it hurt, but what are you gonna do about it?
So and betrayal's a bitch.
Yeah.
Betrayal's always gonna happen.
Yeah.
Am I cautious about it? Yeah. I always look over my shoulder and watch out because of how many times I've been betrayed.
It's like getting cheated on by your first love and wondering why she did you like that. You gonna sit around and wait for her to explain why she cheated on you? No, you're gonna move forward. You're gonna keep it pushing. You're gonna deal with the pain, deal with the heart, however you can cope with it, and just keep pushing and understand that the world is just like that.
And people are just gonna do you dirty like that.
Yeah, explanation or not, you know.
And you're never gonna get the explanation you deserve. You're never gonna get the apology you deserve. So I look at it as throughout all the situations, make that very fucking clear. I closed every single one of them. I don't sit here and I'll reminisce and then think about all that bullshit. It gets me irritated. It gets me annoyed. But that's because you bring it up.
Right.
But the situation itself, I have moved on. I got peace with myself. Does that mean I'm gonna be okay seeing you or being?
Probably not.
No. You're lucky I don't give you an ass whooping in front of everybody. You know?
Yeah, literally.
Or it takes a lot out of me for me to be like, you know what? Let me just turn the fuck around before.
And that's especially after time and time and time of expecting something back, some form of respect after you've done so much for them.
Yeah.
And then the betrayal hits, and then you're just sitting here like, oh, the moment I catch you slipping, boys, back.
Don't get me wrong. In my head, it's like that. It's like, let me catch you slipping one time.
It'd be like that, bro. It'd be like that. But at the end of the day, is the crash out justifiable? Is it worth it? Is it what? Again,
I think about this quote that I remember somebody told me.
Yeah.
And it's, don't let 5 seconds of your life. Don't let 5 seconds of your life that's gonna ruin your life.
Yeah.
Cost you another 15 years.
Yeah.
Because bitches nowadays.
Yes, bro. Yeah. Yeah.
And no one's gonna take the ass whipping unless you're gonna take the ass whipping from the cops.
Exactly.
And
I'm not gonna lie, there's certain times where it is justifiable, but it's not worth it 90 times. 90% of the time, it's not worth it.
And I tell myself, because don't get me wrong, sometimes I'm in that head and I'm just like, just do it just that one time. I mean,
a little demon in the cage in your head is just telling you, like, hey, remember when? Shit.
A little fucking anger, that little anger emotions in the cage, like, just a little simmer. Just a little simmer. Let me get a little hot.
Oh, man. I mean, at the end of the day, man, all I can say is I'm proud of you because I know you've come a long way. You know, I feel like out of anybody's story that I've heard, you know, their life story that I've heard, I feel like I'm more sympathetic towards yours only because of the fact that it is so hard to come from a background like you have and then to completely do a whole 180 and try and be a better version of yourself. There's a lot of people who wish they could do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People who were in your shoes that just fathom of it and just can't because they can't conquer that demon inside them. They can't conquer that anger, you know what I'm saying? And it's a lot, but like I said, I'm proud of you, bro, because if it was me personally, I'm sorry, I probably would have been dead or locked up.
I appreciate that, bro. And I've suffered through a lot mentally, and I've said that openly throughout the podcast. I've suffered from my own suicidal thoughts before as well, and I'm opening up to everybody just because like that's some deep shit, and I've always had that dark mentality, that dark cloud in my head. That bitch never left. Never left. Let me be honest with you. It doesn't matter. I don't know. I don't know why, but it doesn't matter how happy or how satisfied you get these small moments. Like I can go out of town and I'm happy with my girl, and I can go out of town and be happy and be joyful, but I'm not really happy or satisfied within myself.
Like that void isn't filled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know. On a deeper level, I really don't know if it's just because I haven't accomplished what I need to accomplish for my mom, for my dad, or for my siblings. I don't know if it's just because I have so much built-in trauma in me that I've tried to suppress it. Again, you've known me for years, so we've opened up about a lot of this deep shit before, and every single one of my guy friends, they know that I've opened up about it. Right. And they can all say the same thing, is that I've always suffered with this. Right. It's never changed. It's always been the same dark cloud, and it's always been the same way. Right. So I will never understand if it's just because of the lack of not being able to accomplish certain things or what it is. But truly, I've always said this, is that I'll never be happy in my life. I'll never be satisfied or happy just because of how dark I have it in my head.
You know, I've always said to myself, like, because I can relate to that in a different manner, but I've always said to myself, I feel like everybody has a form of depression, right? Everybody has a form of suicidal tendencies, and it may not be as stronger as the next person's. You might not even think about suicide, but best believe a thought of you looking over that cliff and being like, jump. Just hearing that word and you just taking a step back and be like, nah, let me take a step back. That's a suicidal tendency. You know what I'm saying? No matter what you think it is. That's just factual. Yeah. I just feel like maybe in your shoes, you know, you've dealt with so much stuff that cloud doesn't go away because you have so much pent-up stress. You have things that you want to accomplish. And that's a common thing with people who are big dreamers, you know? You know, even me growing up, I always thought I was going to be like, it was instilled into my head. Family members, friends telling me, bro, like, you're going to be someone when you grow up, bro. You're smart as fuck. Like, you're innovative. Like, you're just so creative. Like, you're going to be something big. And, like, I look at myself now compared to what I could have become when I first graduated. And, I mean, yeah, I could have been something huge. I could have been something great. I see the opportunities I could have took that I let pass me by. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and cry about it and be like, oh, I should have did this. Nah, bro, I still could. I'm not going to sit here and regret it. But as a big dreamer, you will never really feel satisfied until you feel like you've accomplished that one big goal you really wanted to. Yeah. And even for me, I think about it all the time. I stress out about the situation with my mom, and we've talked about that all the time.
Yeah.
I wanted to start my own towing company so that way I can put food on the table for my family because we've struggled.
Mm-hmm.
We've struggled with employment, and I don't know if that's just a systematic thing. I'm not going to get into no racism or nothing like that, nothing controversial. But, you know, I wanted to be the one in my family to be the first generation business owner to be like, okay, well, here's a towing company. I run the business. My mom's a dispatcher. My brother's a tow truck driver. My uncle's a tow truck driver. We got somebody in customer service. We got somebody doing, you know, finances.
Yeah.
And it's all family oriented. So that way, when I have kids, they have a job to look forward to. My little cousins, they got a job to look forward to. And I'm serving the community with something greater. I'm doing something that I can help benefit other people with, whether it's the car homies who, hey, bro, I need a tow. I just blew a fucking tire. My rim just debeaded, or I got this situation. We're low car friendly. I got you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just to help the community out.
Yeah, yeah.
I couldn't accomplish that goal. I looked at how, and I'm not saying it's impossible, but I've looked at how feasible it is. How possible is it for somebody my age to go and start a towing company? A towing company is very easy to start. It's very low. Like, you don't need hella finances to get into that business off the rip.
Yeah.
If you got somebody who is a financial investor who will invest in what you want to do, to handle a tow truck company, I guarantee you'll be successful. But unfortunately, due to the circumstances, I wasn't able to do it at this moment. And so that crushed my dreams a lot. I've sat back and was just like, honestly, bro, I don't think I have enough time to be able to retire my mom like I thought I would. Like, damn, maybe I won't be the one to give my mom everything. But, bro, you got to keep going.
Yeah.
No matter what. That thought is in my head every day. When I'm down in my rut, lost the job, whatever the case may be, the company went under, I'm sitting in my room like, damn, what the fuck am I going to do, bro? Like, it's just setting me back more years, more time. How am I going to catch up?
Yeah.
You have to remember, bro, you got to keep pushing that dream. A dream is only a dream until you make it reality.
Exactly.
So you can keep dreaming and then let the time pass on until it's damn near impossible to make it come true, and then for the rest of your life it's done. Or you can try and find something else that you'd be satisfactory with that's more reasonable. Because you can always change a dream.
Yeah.
But once that dream is passed, you might just regret it deep enough to where you think that you could have done it and you just didn't. It's really just about, and this is a crazy word, this is something crazy to say, but it's really just about how you manipulate yourself.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
Yeah, yeah. Because you almost have to believe it in your own head that it's going to happen.
Exactly.
And that's just the way that you have to speak it into existence. Like I've always said, Broke Boyz is the #1 podcast in Fresno. It was at one point. When I was saying it, we were number 5.
Exactly.
Not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
But I spoke it into existence to be number 1. And that's just how you got to do it. You have to just tell yourself, no, I'm going to be number 1. I'm going to be on top one day. I'm going to. And eventually it's going to become a reality. Same thing with motivation. You have to find your motivators. You have to find your why. For example, for me, my why, my family, and my girl. Always has been. Because I'm doing everything I can for my mom, for my dad, for my siblings. I'm doing everything I can to have a better life for Kat.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, and this is another thing, this is another challenge that I have to hurdle over.
Right.
But I'm living a life with her, but I'm also trying to figure out a life for my parents.
Right.
So I have to juggle 2 lives in one.
And that's not easy, bro, because trust me, I did it and I folded, bro. Man, I folded so bad. I took the relationship out of the equation because I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I just, and I'll admit I made that mistake. Like, it wasn't as deep as I thought it was, but there's still other factors that were holding me back that I just needed to cut that relationship off. But that's real, bro. That is absolutely real.
And I think that's why I haven't pulled the trigger on getting married. Because I'll be honest, for everybody that's listening, for you too, my biggest fear is to be a failure. And I'm afraid to fail my marriage and be the same example as everybody else. I don't want to be that statistic.
That's real, bro. Wow. That's a deep one.
Yeah. So I'm saying, like, it's I don't want to fuck it up.
Right.
I'm an afraid, and I come from a family of fuck ups.
Right.
You know me personally for years, so I've struggled. I've took a lot of losses, and I've bounced back from everything.
Right. I just think it's insane, bro, because, like, we share a lot of things in common when it comes to, like, being very goal-oriented, being very goal-driven, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But, like, seeing and being around other people that are very, like, surface level, like, does it ever, like, piss you off sometimes?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Yeah.
like,
I know exactly what you mean. Yep.
Like, you're just like, bro, why am I here? Like,
Yeah.
that shit sometimes, like, I'm glad that we've evolved and we've become the people that we have now, because I can't sit in a room of surface level people and be satisfied with it, bro. I will go the fuck home. You know what I'm saying? And
I'll start like in my head it starts playing the SpongeBob song. I'm just like, yeah, I don't belong here.
oh my God. I legitimately just, it's crazy to think about how we have evolved as people, right?
Yeah.
How when we were younger, the smallest things used to just tick us off, bro. And we just grew so patient, but also built a boundary up so strong that like you won't even let that little ass shit affect you. But when you notice it, you cut it off. You're like, nah, out of here, gone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just think that it's amazing to see each other's growth, because over these years, even though we haven't really communicated, like, we're not the type to talk to each other every day. We don't talk to each other once a week. Like, it's fortunate if we do. You know what I'm saying? It's conversations like these every single time.
Yeah.
But every time we bounce back into each other's lives, we progress just that much more. You know what I'm saying? And we understand that if one of us needs each other, we have each other's back, no matter what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's great. It's amazing seeing that we didn't let those challenges, whether it be losing a co-host, losing a job, losing a car, you know, we didn't let none of that destroy us as who we were as people. We didn't crash out. We didn't fumble as people and just go to some basic 9-to-5 working at Chuck E. Cheese or McDonald's and just settled with it. You know what I'm saying? And if that's you, please do not take offense to any of this. Some people's lives are a lot different than we can actually comprehend. And I don't blame none of y'all.
Yeah.
But for somebody like who's goal-driven, goal-oriented, somebody who really just has a lot to lose, or somebody who is just dreaming of doing something big for themselves or their family, it's hard to continue to be the strong one. It's hard to continue to be the only one people can rely on to make that difference. Yeah. It's literally being the Superman of your family. And I'm telling you right now, as corny as it sounds, bro, that's what it is. You know, like, my mom's always told me, she's just like, out of all the kids that I've had, you've always been the one that I've seen as the strongest. Even though you're the youngest, you have been the one to make the biggest changes. And it wasn't because, like, oh, I had my dad in my life. Like, father figures do help a lot, but me and my dad didn't even get along well. If y'all don't really know, I grew up with an abusive father that I ended up moving out of my childhood home to stay with my grandparents when I turned 19 because I was done with it. I was tired of being disrespected and fucking, you know what I'm saying? Just verbally and mentally abused and stuff like that, and physically. And so I took the route of, like, taking what he told me and taught me as a kid growing up, and I took that as a grain of salt, and it's helped me a lot. I'll take it there. But I still have yet to speak to him. I've seen him in person. I've literally seen him in person. Don't say a word to him. You know what I'm saying? After all these years, and I just don't. I feel like even though I've gone through that, like, if you have to cut your own family member, your own parent off, you got to be strong.
Yeah.
There's got to be something within you that's like, you're fed up with whatever is going on, and you have other things that you need to take care of. You called on yourself before anybody else. You knew you needed to prioritize yourself before anyone else. And so I think, you know, as somebody that can do that for themselves, I would deem myself as a strong person. And I'm not trying to get full of myself or nothing like that. I'm just saying, if you are a person who has had those moments where you had to sit back and take those steps that you knew would hurt. That was a lifelong commitment, knowing that you could never make that turn back around. Just know we're rooting for you. Or at least I'm rooting for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard out here being a solo Superman for your family or for yourself and your kids.
Yeah.
It is tough.
No, I get you. And you got to be strong-minded.
Mm-hmm.
You're definitely a different breed.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. For sure. Damn, man. We had a fucking deep-ass episode.
I think this is the deepest episode I've had in a minute. Sheesh.
Damn.
No, we took it there.
No, we had to. It's stir right to the direction it needed to.
Exactly.
For sure.
And again, this is sometimes just what our average conversation is like.
Yeah.
But this is why I'm glad to be a part of something like this, man, because we can speak our minds and you know what I'm saying?
It's our minds.
Yeah.
It's what we go through.
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter anybody else's opinions.
Great podcast episode. And it's a great outing. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people need to speak it out. Sometimes that's all you need is a partner to speak on it about. It helps a lot, man. Trust me.
No, it does. It relieves some weight off the shoulders.
Absolutely.
For sure. And man, just keep dreaming, keep pushing, and you're gonna get. I've always told you this. You're gonna get everything you deserve soon. Take it one day at a time.
Absolutely. Baby steps on a long road, no matter how long the path is. Take those baby steps, because you'll be at the end of the road before you know it.
Yeah.
And like what my favorite music group said, when life gets hard, keep on marching on. Even if the finish line is far and you have to push the car, keep on marching on.
Hey.
I mean, again, stand for something or die for nothing. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. Hell yeah. Well, thank you guys for all listening. We appreciate you guys for being a part of this deep episode. And thank you, DJ, for opening up and really allowing yourself to be open for everybody. And I hope everybody enjoys it. I hope everyone gets a little teary-eyed when they listen.
Get in your feels today, peoples. Please be open. Be passionate about who you are as a person.
Yeah.
Accept yourself.
And let us know what life challenges you guys are going through currently right now. But remember, you guys can catch us on all platforms. You can also follow us on our Instagram and our TikTok at BrokeBoyz_FF. And don't forget to give DJ a follow and to follow his car crew.
Yes, sir. You can follow me at Woday on Instagram or TikTok. WHOADAEE. Shout out Modified Luxury Crew on Instagram. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys giving me a listen, giving me your time.
No, though, we appreciate you for coming, DJ. I really do, man. This is well needed, and I'm glad. I can't wait to edit these episodes and post them, bro.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it.
Well, we love you guys. Much love. Take care. Peace.
Peace.